So, Colleen, can you tell us your story about how you came to know and use the Yuen method?
Sure, Randy. I knew about the Yuen method. I was introduced to it in 2002, studied it for a year or two, and then I fell away from it. Then I had a situation back in 2016 where I couldn't eat for about 3 months, to the point where I was off of work on disability. I was trying everything. I went to alternative practitioners. I had every kind of medical test known to man. I went to psychotherapists. Nothing was working. And everything I did seemed to just make it worse. So I was praying for an answer. And while I was on disability at home, a friend came over to help me with something. We were moving things around in my home. A book from Dr. Yuen, that's the creator of the Yuen method, fell onto the floor. I had completely forgotten about the method, the book. So in that moment, I kind of knew what I needed to do. So I looked him up to see what he was doing. And he had these live streams that he was doing with his partner, Marnie Greenberg. And they were doing this energy strengthening, this clearing energetically, and I would feel some relief after listening. So I decided to book a session with him. The next day, after all these months, I was eating again. And so from that point forward, I decided to learn the method myself and to assist other people with their lives and making their lives better too.
Well, that's awesome. But what kind of techniques were you doing prior to the Yuen method?
That's a great question. I was always interested in health and energy healing techniques and wellness in general. I had been a yoga instructor for about 8 years, and I had become a certified hypnotherapist. And I had experienced, but not learned at that point in time, Reiki. So those are some of the things I was doing prior to 2016.
So why do you primarily use the Yuen method rather than other methods of energy techniques like Reiki?
Well, I think those energy techniques are all fantastic. Every method has its value and has its pluses. What I really especially was impressed with the Yuen method was the speed and how quickly it turned my situation around and how quickly I see it turn things around for my clients. And also because it works, it's a very different kind of animal because it works more from the perspective that our bodies are a computer. Our brain and our spinal cord are our central nervous system computer. And what I do when I work with somebody is I just tap into what's happening in their computer and I just clear each little thing that's going on in the way. So what it does is allows me to get very specific into the very specific reasons, causes, and sources of what created the problem for the person and to clear it on a very deep, profound level from the past, present, and the future.
Okay. And what kind of changes have you made in your own life using the Yuen method?
Well, I know you're familiar with at least some of those. What was happening for me at the time when I rediscovered the method was I was very unhappy with my job and my living situation. And I decided to, or I was able to finally move forward in some areas where I had been stuck. So by doing a lot of the clearing of my own self with the Yuen method technique, I got to the point where I finally left living in the Bay Area, moved up here to Washington State, and I left a job of 12 years. And I had had a string of very unhappy relationships that ended very badly. And so, as you know, sometime after moving up here, I met you, and you are my husband. So we are now married. It's something I thought was never going to happen. Finally, all came into place.
Okay, that's awesome. So what do you enjoy most about what you do?
Well, I love what I call moving somebody from fear to clear. When people come to me and they're in this place of feeling kind of shut down or not certain or feeling disconnected from options and choice and possibilities. And so through the work that we do, I love getting to see them go from that kind of a state into that place where they're bright and vibrant and fully connecting to themselves and the real possibilities of their life and having that clarity and energy to move forward with what they want to create in their life.
And so what does it mean to be a intuitive life Sherpa?
Great question. So I chose that as the name for what I do because there are a lot of coaches out there, and I could have chosen intuitive coach, but I don't feel like that accurately describes what I do, and I didn't want to confuse people. So Intuitive Life Sherpa, because what I do works on an intuitive level, because I'm intuitively tuning into somebody's situation and then energetically removing whatever is in their way. And life, because I can help people with any aspect of their life, their health, their finances, their fitness, their youthfulness, their relationships, and one of my favorite areas, which is career. And Sherpa, because all I'm doing is I'm helping that person redirect their energy just to guide them in the right direction so they can find their own answers. And so that's why I chose Intuitive Life Sherpa, so that they can find that direction for themselves.
Okay, that's awesome. So I got a curious question here.
Mhm.
Who is the Super Sleuth?
Oh, great question. Super Sleuth is my alter ego. So because I love digging down into the truth of a situation, as you know, I love mysteries and getting to the truth of what really happened in a situation, despite what people might initially think. So I decided to create this fun little alter ego to explain or show people examples of how I'm able to assist people with some of their life issues. So we created the Super Sleuth, and she's always out there getting to the root of the issue and solving the case.
Oh, great. So our listeners are watching this program. What's the best way for them to contact you?
They can go to my website, ColleenO'Connor.com, and that's C like SEE.
All right, excellent. So if you have a need to reach out to Colleen, reach out to her through her website. Thank you very much, and thank you, Colleen.
Thanks, Randy.